The US transfers 2 more detainees from the Guantanamo Bay facility, this time to Pakistan, bringing down the number of the detainees to 32. Will Biden administration be able to fulfill its promise of shutting down the notorious detention facility completely? The US has transferred 2 brothers, Abdul Rabbani and Mohammad Rabbani, from its Guantanamo Bay detention facility to Pakistan. According to the Pentagon, both of them were alleged leaders of Al-Qaeda, facilitating the travel and finances for the international terrorist organization. They were arrested from Karachi in 2002, although they held little intelligence value for the US government according to the US military records. The 2 brothers were held for 20 years without any charges. The transfer to Pakistan brings down the number of the detainees in Guantanamo Bay to 32 and is being seen as part of the efforts of Biden administration to fulfill its promise of shutting down the infamous facility, which has been synonymous with grave human rights violations, modern techniques of torture, and complete disregard for the international law. Guantanamo Bay Detention Facility was established to house the foreign terrorism suspects after the 9/11 attacks. At its peak, it detained 780 people, all Muslims. The suspects were held under illegal detention for prolonged periods, without any fair trials. Of 780 suspects, only 7 have been convicted so far. The US chose Guantanamo facilities to hold the terrorism suspects because neither international law nor the US domestic law applied there, giving the US security forces impunity to commit the abuses in the name of counterterrorism. Rather than protecting people from the threat of terrorism, this led to a public outcry and great resentment in the Muslim world, not only against the US, but also against their own governments for colluding in the capture and subsequent handing over of the suspects to the United States. Now, last month saw the 21st anniversary of the notorious Guantanamo Bay Detention Center, despite the promises of different US administrations to shut it down. Now, the international human rights organizations have called for closing down the detention center immediately and asked the US administration to either release the suspects immediately or try them in a fair and impartial manner. For some experts, the Guantanamo Bay facility reflects the US's flawed counterterrorism approach after the 9/11 attacks. Focusing on disproportionate use of hard military power, including foreign invasions, a massive drone campaign, and fostering a binary of with us or against us, the US created more resentment, allowing the terrorist organizations to capitalize on that reservoir of discontent. While the governments have the right to protect their state and citizens from terrorist organizations, this threat should not be used to justify the establishment of notorious detention centers like Guantanamo Bay, which only perpetuate the problem rather than to address it. I'm Tayyaba, and this was your Daily Dispatch.